Hey guys, welcome to Comics on Screen. I am your host Chris, and today we're going to be talking about the Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice trailer that was released, I believe, last week. I'm a little late on this, but this is going to be the first, I believe this is going to be the first episode of the channel, and B, I'm actually really not someone who likes to review trailers. I don't watch trailer reviews. Sometimes I watch trailer reactions, but I thought if you're going to do a channel called Comics on Screen, then you have to go all the way and review the trailers. So I'm not going to be taking this. Like scene for scene, clip by clip, but I'm just going to tell you the overall reaction to the trailer. My first reaction was that I really liked it, and then upon other viewings, I kind of liked it a little less. I'm someone who does not think that this movie is going to be very good. I think it's going to be a decent movie, but I don't think it's going to be the movie that it really needs to be. I mean, this movie doesn't just need to be good, it needs to be great. I mean, for two major reasons. One, Man of Steel was not a very good movie at all, and it really didn't kick off the universe, I think, the same way that Marvel's Iron Man did in 2008. So this movie is, instead of slowly building towards a universe like Marvel did from 2008 to 2011, and then they did, in 2012, they did Avengers, DC seems to be just going head first into it. This is only the second movie in the universe, yet we have Superman returning, and we have Batman in it, Alfred's in it, Wonder Woman's in it, Lex Luthor's in it, and as the trailer showed, Doomsday, of all people, are in it. So they're kind of going balls to the wall with this movie. They put all their eggs into one basket, and I don't think that was a very smart idea. But like I said, this movie doesn't need to be... This movie needs to be great. It needs to be historic. For that reason, for the reason that it really needs to finally cap off this universe. I mean, DC and Warner Brothers have a lot of plans for these movies, and they really need something that's going to be very good in order to justify all these other movies that they want to do. The other reason that this movie needs to be great is that this is the first movie that in live action that is going to feature Batman and Superman together, and not just Batman and Superman together, but also Wonder Woman. DC's three most popular characters that they've ever had are going to be in one movie, and it needs to be great, because if it's not great, I mean, then that kind of historic thing kind of just goes away. I think, considering that this trailer is going to be, which I assume it's going to be, and I'm pretty sure there's reports that it is going to be attached to Star Wars: The Force Awakens, I feel like this trailer was more aimed at people who are kind of on the fence about this movie, or about DC movies in general, because of not liking Man of Steel, or maybe not even liking the Nolan movies, which they feel DC is kind of like the no-fun zone, and it takes itself too seriously. I feel like this was a movie where they put in a lot of, not a lot, but a couple humor. They tried to put humor in it, and I think their goal was, we're going to show you what the movie is, and then you'll make the decision to go and see it, which is also, it's a very dangerous idea, because, and this is kind of an idiotic statement to make, and at the same time, I don't think it's idiotic, which is that it looks like they've shown us the entire movie, and you say, well, how could they show you a 2-hour movie in like 2 minutes? And what I mean by that is that the story beats for Act 1, Act 2, and Act 3 seem to already be in this film. You see the tensions rise between Superman and Batman. You see why Batman has a grudge against Superman. Then in the second act, you see them fight. And then the third act introduces a new villain that Lex Luthor creates, Doomsday, and then they have to team up with Wonder Woman to take them down. At the end, they're going to be like, hey, Justice League coming out in 2017. So it kind of already feels like we've seen the movie in terms of the important beats. Now, I'm sure there's going to be a couple twists. I mean, who sent the letter to Bruce that said, you let your family die? How did Wonder Woman even get into this story? What's her backstory? And what was the deal with those weird sort of futuristic apocalypse scenes with Batman and Superman? The one where Batman has this giant, trench coat in the desert and he's taken down by Superman's army. It looks like something out of Injustice, and I'm assuming... I think we're all assuming that it's a dream or nightmare sequence, but I kind of want to see more of that. So don't get me wrong. When I say that I think they've shown the entire movie, it's not that my interest is gone now, but I think saving Doomsday would have been a better reveal for in the movie. I mean, I really don't care if it's widely speculated that that Doomsday's in the movie. I mean, I can speculate that in the new Star Wars movie, Rey is either Han Solo's daughter or Luke Skywalker's daughter or something like that, but you don't reveal that in the trailer just because it's widely speculated. I think the reason Doomsday was put in this trailer was to give something to talk about. And I think they wanted to show that Batman and Superman, despite the title being Batman versus Superman, that they're not just going to be fighting each other for the whole movie. But you also don't need to show your big villain. I know it's unfair to compare the Dawn of Justice trailer with the first Civil War trailer because the Civil War trailer was a teaser for it. They didn't really show a whole lot, although they did give you a lot more story elements than we got in the first two Dawn of Justice trailers. But there's so much that Civil War hasn't shown yet. I mean, they haven't even shown Crossbones. They haven't shown Baron Zemo, the two big antagonists for the film. They also haven't showed Spider-Man, which is, that's their ace in their hole. I mean, if they really need, to get people's attention, they'll show that. But I hope they don't, considering the lessons that they should have learned from Age of Ultron, in which Age of Ultron, once again, pretty much showed the entire movie. And when you went to go see it, it's like, oh, okay, I get that, that's that, and, oh, I already saw the movie in this trailer. So it's a bit disappointed for that. I think with each trailer, this movie continues to show that Ben Affleck as Bruce Wayne Batman was a great choice. I mean, I am not a Ben Affleck fan as an actor. I think the movies that he's directed are very, very good. But he has seemed to just completely thrown himself into this movie, and they are doing a different version of Bruce Wayne Batman. He doesn't, I don't know, there's something weird. Like, he does seem to be taking himself very seriously, but at the same time, he doesn't seem as dark as the other previous versions have. And I think that's because they also realize that they need to put this character in Justice League, and he's going to need to be interacting with Superman and Wonder Woman and Aquaman and the Flash. So I don't think the previous versions of Batman work. And I think, I mean, honestly, I'm ready for a more human, Batman. So, like the Batman you see in Jeff Johns' New 52 Justice League, or the Batman you see in the Bruce Timm shows. Henry Cavill, he's Superman. I think what really needs to happen in this movie is you need to see a lot more Clark Kent. The very few times that he was allowed to talk as Superman in Man of Steel, I think he was very good. I just think it's that really weird interpretation of Clark Kent that they had where he wasn't really Clark Kent in Man of Steel didn't really work. So I think that's the side I need to be. He actually really does remind me in terms of style with Andrew Garfield from the two Amazing Spider-Man movies, which I actually really liked Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man. I mean, he definitely brought the comedic edge to it that I think was really lacking in Tobey Maguire's, but his Peter Parker was just really weird. And I think that's where Henry Cavill is right now, where he has a good Superman on his hands. You just need to prove that you can do Clark Kent. We heard more of Affleck's Batman voice, which isn't too bad. We've only gotten little snippets of Gal Gadot's Wonder Woman, but the more I see her in the Wonder Woman costume, the more I really like her. But again, I mean, it depends. She hasn't spoken a single line of dialogue so far, and I don't really know how much she's going to be in the movie. I've heard a lot of people compare her to Black Widow in Iron Man 2, but who knows? Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor is really weird. I have a feeling I'm going to really enjoy Jesse Eisenberg in this movie, and that he's going to be completely ridiculous. He's going to be a comic book villain over the top. He's going to be so hated by everyone that he's going to be like the Joffrey of the DC universe. I just don't know if he's going to be Lex, though. I mean, there was one or two lines in this trailer that actually really did strike me as a line that Lex Luthor would say. But he just kind of feels like he's playing a more hyper version of the Jesse Eisenberg characters that he does, and not much as Lex. What I'm hoping is at the end of this movie, you get to see the more I don't know how to say, the more ferocious, villainy, fearsome side of Lex Luthor come out. At the same time, I think I'm starting to get a little tired of movies where you have to wait toward the end of the movie for, like, the real character to come out. I mean, like I said, in Man of Steel, we didn't really get Clark Kent until, the last 30 seconds of the film. So, in that way, it's kind of annoying. But again, I mean, this is only little bits and pieces of a movie. Some of the comedy lines at the end with, like, is she with you? No, I thought she was you. That was, like, really weird. And I actually heard someone say that they felt it was I forget who said this, so I'm sorry, I'm not crediting them, but they felt like towards the end it became a parody of like, the other trailer. And I fear that they're going to try and do more comedy lines in this movie, because that was one of the really big points about Man of Steel, is there is no humor whatsoever. And there really does need to be humor in this movie. But yeah, that was a pretty bad line. And Doomsday, God, the CGI for Doomsday looked crappy, didn't it? I've heard people compare him to the Michael Bay Ninja Turtles. He looked like a cave troll. He looked like the cave troll from Fellowship of the Ring. The only positive side that could happen with this is that they'll put in a thing about how Doomsday is going to evolve, and they'll pull Smallville, like Smallville Season 8, where they put him underground, and then he would come up later, eventually. And because, I mean, if they don't do the death of Superman, which is the most iconic freaking comic book story of all time, I don't know what they're thinking. And I think that's part of the reason why I really don't like that they're using Doomsday. And the other reason is that, I mean, again, it's the second movie. I mean, I think the villain could have... The villain, I'm still assuming the villain is Lex Luthor. But, I mean, they could have put Lex in a suit. They could have done so many other things. I just think to use Doomsday is them trying to make this movie big and epic, and I just think it's being done in the wrong way. But I didn't really hate the trailer as much as I've heard from other people. I also didn't love the trailer as much as I heard from other people. And I think even though they are this trailer was designed to get people who are on the fence about this movie, I don't think it worked. I think if you want to go see this movie, you are going to go see this movie. If you have a lot of doubts about this movie and you think the movie's going to be a train wreck, I don't think this trailer was going to convince you otherwise. So, yeah, I mean, this really should be the last one, but I assume Warner Brothers is going to put out at least one more, even though we're like 3 months away from the actual movie coming out. But, yeah, so I just thought it was a middle-of-the-road one. I think they're trying to do certain things that don't really work, but I understand why. Anyway, guys, that's going to do it for me. I've been talking for like 17, 18 minutes about a 3-minute trailer. See, this is why I don't like trailer reviews. But anyway, I'm going to do another one of these for Ninja Turtles trailer that just recently came out. And as for the future of the channel, I'll have episode reviews of Supergirl, The Flash, and Arrow, which Supergirl had a really interesting episode, and Flash and Arrow did their mid-season finales. So look out for that. Thanks, guys, for listening, and I'll see you later.